Hey, welcome back to Willie's. So we should do more videos of just your standard Fenders that come in, the new stuff. But I'm a huge geek about vintage guitars. Everybody knows that, so that's not surprising. I got this guitar from a person in Wisconsin who drove past all these other dealers on their way up, and at the time when I bought this, I paid crazy money for it, It's just a remarkably clean guitar. Now, this is a Les Paul Jr. and this is a Les Paul Jr. Most of you guys know the difference. They went from this single cut to a double cut with a thick body, but in 1961 they started going to this double cut. And if you think, there isn't many double cutaway guitars before the Fender Strat. And when the Stratocaster came along with this double cutaway design and its access to the upper frets, it really kind of launched everything. And Buddy Holly playing it, and Gibson really didn't have anything until the SG in the double cutaway, except for the ES series like the 335. So for a double cutaway solid body, the SG was kind of their response. Finally, they're getting into it. And they decided it was kind of planky and they would put Les Paul's name on it. And you can see this guitar has Les Paul's name on it. This is the only year they make a SG Les Paul is 61. So, and very early 62. You can also tell a Les Paul SG Special or Junior from the angled bridge, and you can see it angles off a little bit. Anything, if you look up other SGs, you're going to see the bridges straight across like this. It doesn't have this angle. These guitars have big necks, and the last year they made the 50s Les Paul Juniors. They made about 2,500 of them, the big double cutaway Les Paul Juniors. When this came out, there was about 2,100 of these. And a lot of them back in the day, I mean, when I was growing up, you could buy these for $200, $400, $600, and a lot of guys would modify these and play the heck out of them. This one is feather light. It is 5.5 pounds, barely soaking wet. And it's also magnificent condition. The guitar is all straight. It's got this giant neck. It's feather light, and while it's not mint in the true sense of the word, we're like definitively mint, it is super clean. It comes with this original case, and these cases from this year are kind of this off green gator. We call it faux gator. This also has its original strap inside here, and look at this too. If the camera can come up, you can see this, that this has actually the original strings. Now, I've told everybody this before. These guitars back in the day were strung with the same gauge strings as the acoustic guitars. You put 12 gauge on your electric, you put 12 gauge on your acoustic. Duh. End of story. That's what you want to do, right? Yeah, well then later in the 60s, banjo strings came along, Ernie Ball slinkies came around, and that was kind of like, wow, lighter strings, that's cool. Now I can wail like Jimi Hendrix. But these guitars came with 12 gauge semi-flat wound strings, and this has what might be the original strings. If they're not, this has not seen a whole bunch of string changes. Having said that, the G string on here is starting to come unwound a little bit. It could use a change of strings. Now get ready, because this is going to be controversial, and I don't want to get anybody upset, but people will buy this kind of thing and not play it. I know. But there's also people that will take their collectible cars and they put it on a trailer and they drag the car to car shows where it's rolled off, displayed at a show, rolled back on, and taken home without ever putting many miles on it. And that's what the person that buys this guitar might want to do. 20% of the buyers that will buy a guitar in this condition are putting it aside with this on there. We won't change these strings. It functions. But you're going to have that G string, because it's coming undone, is kind of getting kind of wanky. is the string as it's coming undone. It is a wound G. This is a 12 gauge set of strings that are on here, and no, we're not going to change it. You can change it when you buy it if you choose, that's fine, but there are customers that are going to want these original strings. Are they the very original? I don't know, could be. I think they might be. This guitar came from the son of the original owner, and it was tucked underneath the bed. He took a few lessons and never really warmed up to it. It's one of those guitars, a 1961 SG Les Paul. Go try to find another one right now. I'll wait here while you go check and see online. See what I mean? There's like none of them for sale. Yeah, there's the straight bridge, there's regular SG Juniors, but in this rising climate of collectible guitars, and as there are more and more people doing the collectible guitar thing, this type of thing is really, really hard to find. And I'll advise anytime you can, buy a guitar this clean. Two, if it's within your ability to buy it, buy it. There's more juice. There is one thing about these strings, you get this huge bass response out of a bigger string like this. I kind of like the flat wounds. But there you go. This is coming up for sale. It just came out. It is a 1961 SG Les Paul Jr. in striking condition. Really, just super clean. So gaze a bit at it while you can. All right, other side, and back up, and we'll stop at the logo. Bye, everybody.